because Chuck is flying in a few days, I always make sure a night or two before a friend's flight, I'll go onto your Facebook page and I'll just leave a posting that says, Allah Jihad Dirty Bomb.
Just...
Last night, I was so freaking high. You know the concept of washing your hands after you take a shit?
I'm familiar with the concept, yes. I actually practice it.
I invented that.
Did you? Welcome to Two Gaming Dudes.
Oh boy, okay, this is a departure. Who loves air travel?
No, well, I shouldn't say that. I don't mind the travel. It's the airport that I hate the most, but, I mean...
We're going to delve into some true crime here.
All right.
Out of the ordinary for us.
This is great, because I'm about to go on a long flight.
He's got a 20-hour flight to Korea ahead of him, and then 23 hours back. So this is perfect. Thanks to Lone Wolf Almighty for providing the gameplay here, Flight Sim 2000. Have you ever heard of Pacific Southwest Flight 1771?
I have not.
Pacific Southwest Airlines.
Pacific Southwest Airlines. Okay.
It was a part of U.S. Air, operating as its own division of U.S. Air, and then it just got absorbed into U.S. Air, so it's not around anymore.
Okay.
Or at least it's not operating under that name anymore. In December of 1987, I want to say. In December of 87.
Okay.
That bird goes down just north of San Luis Obispo in Cayuga, California.
You say go down. I mean, it crashed.
It went down.
Okay.
48 people on board. It was a smaller plane. Crew and passengers, all gone. They were able to identify 11 people.
The rest are just beyond identification.
Vaporized.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's nothing left, which makes sense. It's a plane explosion.
Well,
it dropped out of the sky from...
It not only dropped from the sky, it dove at a 70-degree angle from altitude.
Oh, dang.
Broke the sound barrier, and then impacted the ground and left, I don't know, a 20-foot deep crater.
Okay, so really nothing left.
I mean, people were vaporized.
Right.
Why was it a crime, you ask? This was an intentional downing.
Oh.
It was not an accident. Mr. David Burke, who was an employee of the airline, he'd gotten in trouble at his first job with the airline. He was using the airline and his credentials to smuggle drugs. Because you could get drugs onto the plane and transfer it to another city, and you'd get a piece of that.
Which the law tends to frown upon, yes.
Okay, so he got in trouble. Rather than fire him, like a pedophile Catholic priest, they just transfer him to another airport.
Yeah, because that always works well.
So they transfer him here. He gets in trouble again, this time for stealing money from the drink cart.
Okay.
So he gets fired. Not for trafficking drugs, but for stealing $70 from the drink cart.
Right. Assuming there's even $70 in there.
He gets fired. Decides then and there, I'm not turning in my credentials. I'm going to use my badge to get onto an airplane. And that's the airplane he gets onto.
Oh, so he rage quits in the most rage quitty way possible.
Emotional damage.
Rage quit. That's a good way to put it.
I mean, I have rage quit from a job before where I took my keys and I threw them at somebody. I'm like, you're in charge now. And I walked out. But, 50 people didn't die from my walking out of the video game store of Babbage's.
The way they pieced together how this happened is absolutely extraordinary. They had the black boxes and some voice recorders and 2 bits of evidence. One bit of evidence was the gun that he smuggled on board. He had credentials. This was before 9/11.
Right.
Where crew and passengers went through one side of security, crew went through another side. They just bypassed it entirely. He still had his badge, even though he'd just been fired 20 minutes earlier. Walks by. Oh, yeah. Oh, hey, Dave, go ahead.
So it just happened, and he really was like, well, I'll show you. And
it was precisely that.
Wow.
So some of the evidence they found was the pistol. It was a Smith & Wesson Model 29. This is not a small gun. Dirty Harry carried a Smith & Wesson Model 29.
All right, so he had a Dirty Harry gun.
That's what he brought on board with him.
Did he just walk past security? He's like, it's just my gun. It's fine.
I don't know how he got past it. But he gets it onto the plane.
Okay.
And then they found the note that he had written. The boss that had fired him was on that plane.
Oh.
Because he worked for the airline, he would go between, I think San Luis Obispo and Los Angeles or wherever. But
so it really was like, you're fired. Now I'm going to get on that plane over there. You better go home and behave.
Right. They found the note that he wrote to that boss. He took a Sharpie marker and wrote a note on a barf bag and walked by his boss as they were near. Here you go, asshole. Thanks for firing me. And the note said, I asked you for some leniency for me and my family. You gave none, and now you're going to get none. So they were able to piece together from the charred bits of the barf bag. They found that.
They found enough to make the note and read it.
And then they found the Smith & Wesson with a piece of his finger still inside the trigger guard.
Whoa.
Okay. They've pieced together that he goes into the cockpit, immediately wastes one of the pilots. 3 seconds later, there's another shot, presumably wasting another pilot.
Okay, so pilot and co-pilot are now gone.
Gone. A few minutes pass, and then there's a third shot that they somehow pieced together. Another employee realized something was going on and ran up to the front, and he wasted that guy.
Okay.
And they thought maybe he was committing suicide or something, but no, he would have dropped the gun. His finger was still in the trigger guard, which means he held on to it the whole time. He points the nose at the ground at 70 degrees and maxes the thrust levers. This little piece of shit commuter plane breaks the sound barrier and impacts the fucking ground, leaving a 20-foot deep crater. And only able to identify 11 passengers of the 50 on board.
All right, so the moral of the story is be nice to your employees. You don't know what they're going through. And maybe take their credentials if they have high security jobs or jobs where people's lives are on the line. Maybe.
I mean, there are so many fuck-ups here.
I mean,
in retrospect, we live in a post-9/11 world. Unfathomable.
Yeah,
something like this could happen.
I can't see how anything like this could ever happen.
But in 1987, perfectly reasonable.
Yeah.
The other funny thing, because Chuck is flying in a few days, I always make sure a night or two before a friend's flight, I'll go onto your Facebook page and I'll just leave a posting that says, Allah Jihad Dirty Bomb.
Just so I'll get pulled out and...
The real funny part is because we said it on here, this video is going to be investigated.
Oh no!
Allah Jihad Dirty Bomb.
Well, between that and something about a plane going down, and now we are absolutely being invested. This whole video is going to be watched by the FBI, and they're going to look for are they signaling somebody?
Yeah, we're picking up a lot of Al-Qaeda chatter. So, federal laws were passed, afterwards. Immediate seizure of all airline employee credentials. So if you're fired now, they take your fucking badge right away.
That's
a good idea.
That's a good idea. Yeah.
Crew and employees are also now subject to security checks.
Pretty brilliant. Also, I would think that if you got straight up fired, security should go ahead and just escort you out of the airport, right?
Yeah, fuck, I got carried out of fucking Office Max.
Yeah.
When I got fired.
So I'm pretty sure...
I'm not going to steal a ream of paper, you fucking assholes. Whatever.
I don't know. It's just weird.
This was just the wildest story that I had never heard of. How have I never heard of this? This was fucking crazy.
Yeah, it's not the first time I've heard of a plane disappearing or a plane going down, but to hear the whole story, that's wild.
Like the closest in our life, well, this was our life, but in recent history, there was that Lufthansa plane 10 years ago where the pilot himself just went apeshit. Locked the other pilot out, locked the door, and just flew directly into a mountain.
I remember that.
With
I remember hearing about that.
Big airplane, 200 people.
Air traffic control tries to contact the plane, but receives no answer. An alarm goes off inside the cockpit warning, sink rate. Then a loud bang on the door, the captain screaming, for God's sake, open the door.
Well, I'm pretty sure now the tower can just take over the plane.
I don't know about that.
So much of it is automated. The pilot barely needs to do anything anymore.
Yeah, but the manual control is always the top of control. In case you have a total computer failure, you still need a live human that can take control of everything if he has to. That's always going to be the top level of control.
That's true. But now I feel like just in case of total human failure, you should probably have someone at the tower who can go, we got another one that just lost their shit because this is a really stressful job. And didn't we fire him this morning? Oh, crap. Take over. And then...
I mean, do you think it's going to be more than 25 years before this is all AI? There's not going to be a human pilot involved in it. It's all going to be AI.
I could see that. Of course, then you have somebody in the tower who's like, I hate this job. I'm so stressful.
Maybe.
Set them all to crash. And just...
Maybe. I don't know, man. This is just fucked up.
I don't know, when you start putting your life in the hands of others,
Yeah.
there's a lot of trust there.
I mean, fuck, you're a passenger on that plane. You piece together very quickly what's going down, and you can't do shit about it. Fuck that.
No, the whole thing is scary, but,
Yeah.
you know, my other option is to try to, take a boat?
Statistically speaking,
California?
still the safest way to travel.
Very true. Very true.
You're more likely to die on the way to the airport than in the airplane, especially the way Chuck drives.
It's very true. I hope that this episode hasn't turned you off flying. Like, if you're planning on flying, you should still go ahead and do that.
I don't give a shit. I take trains.
Well, I also can't take a train to Korea, so I'm gonna have to fly.
One day they'll build a channel, like the channel from England to the continent. It'll be an Elon Musk hyperloop.
Ooh!
From Los Angeles to Tokyo.
Is it anything like the one they have right now in like Vegas, where you can go 5 miles an hour down this automated tube?
It's very much like that. Yes.
It's the dumbest shit.
It's pretty dumb.
Well, I'd love to hear your thoughts on this, so leave some comments down below. Let us know, is this the craziest airplane story you've ever heard? Or have you heard something even crazier? You gotta tell us about it.
Yeah. Okay.
And what do you feel about flying? I'm gonna have to fly.
No, sir, I don't like it.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan either, but how do you feel about flying? That's all we got. So, like, subscribe, share, comment.
Dick subscribe.
We'll see you in another episode.
Bye now.
Later.